It's Richard Mills from Upschool here. For more amazing free lessons like this one, create a free account at upschool.co, and we can't wait to see you on our platform.
Hello everybody, thank you for coming along to this week's live lesson. It's nice to have you all here. I can see lots of people around the world. Nice to see you. Yes, I'm just going to see who we've got here first before we start. Wonderful. Okay, so I can see grade 7 over at RISSE. Hello everybody. Nice to have you here. We've got Rabia Azim over there. Billy, hello Billy. Nice to see you. Kamal is here. Hello Kamal. Nice to have you here too. Now we're going to start in just a minute. What I will do before we do begin is just give you a bit of a heads up of what we're going to be doing this week, so you know. As you know, we're working on changing the world. That's what it's all about here at Upschool. We want to get students, get children involved in big projects that can help us save the planet. And today we're going to talk about exactly that. So what we're going to do first of all is we're actually just going to take down a few keywords that are going to be used this week, and I'm going to ask you to do that collectively. You can write those down in your book, and then we're going to go through a bit of a slideshow together. I'm going to show you a video today about something very cool, and then we're going to build up to designing this poster. But we're not going to design the poster today. I'm just going to show you how to do it, and I'm going to set you off to do that poster yourself, okay? And then you can go away, and if you've got a Canva account, you can use that Canva account to design your poster. If you don't have a Canva account, don't worry, but there are a few things you're going to need today. So before I begin, let me just show you what you're going to need in order for this to work. So you're going to need a piece of paper like this one here, or a book. So if you've got a piece of paper or a book, that'll be awesome. If you can get that now, that would be wonderful. You're going to need a pen, just like this. You might be needing a pair of scissors, something like this, and also a collection of colors. I've got a collection of colors right here. But I'm going to be using these kind of, felt tip pens, or some people call them texters. All right, shall we get started? I can see there's a whole class of children. They're all getting ready. Wonderful. Now, today we're going to ask you to talk. So if you're working with a group or you're working with a group of students, we're going to ask you to do some chatting today and work collectively. If you're working on your own, that is also completely fine. And at the end of this, I'll give you an avenue, a place where you can send your work if you want to send it later on. If you finish something or you want to send some pictures, no problem. I'm happy to receive them later on. All right, give me a thumbs up if you're ready, and we will start as soon as you let me know. Are we good to go? All right, I can see RISSE grade 7 is ready. Billy, you all good, buddy? All right, amazing. And now there might be an opportunity today as well to ask some of you to have your microphones on and talk and say something. So if that's a possibility, then not a problem with me whatsoever. We'll ask you to do that, no problem. Okay, wonderful. All right, let's get started. Okay, so before we begin, over my overhead camera like this. Okay, before we begin, guys, sorry, let me just grab something very quickly. Here it is. Just going to grab my ruler. Okay. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to put a title at the top of my page. You might want to do the same. And by the way, guys, if you enjoyed today's lesson, you think that was really good, then a really good idea is to teach it to somebody else. Okay. So first of all, put the title of today, which is going to be poster design. Just like this.
Gavin, if you're able to rotate your camera, please.
Sure can. Okay, it's the wrong way around. Sorry, everybody, that would have been very confusing. All good.
No, keep going. It just yeah, is it possible to? Yep, keep going. That's it. Perfect. Thank you.
No problem. Sorry, everybody, that would have been confusing. I apologize. Now we're good. Okay. All right, you can all see it now. So this week we're going to be working on poster design, and you are going to be designing your very own poster. But the important thing is we're not going to design it today. I'm just going to show you how to design it, but I'm going to give you a topic to think about, something really, really important. You live on a planet called planet Earth, and this week we're going to talk about saving that planet. You're going to make a poster that other people are going to notice, and when they notice it, they're going to do something amazing about saving the planet, and it's going to be all to do with your wonderful work. Okay, guys, this week we're going to have a look at keywords. So these keywords will be words we're going to use this week. There's going to be 3 of them. They're very important words. If you can write them down in your book, that would be fantastic, because this will help us to understand what we're going to be doing this week. Okay, so our keywords for this week, guys, the things that we're going to look at. First of all, the first keyword is going to be climate. Now, you might have heard of climate change. That's to do with the world is changing. The world's climate is changing. But what does it mean when we say this thing, climate? What is actually climate? What does it actually mean? Well, let's have a look. Climate is a very interesting one. We know that we have weather, we have rain and sun and wind and snow, but climate is the world's weather. So it's a weather for the world. So we'll write down, I'm going to use a different color for mine. So you might want to do the same. World weather. So you can talk about the weather in your town, in your city, in your country, but if you're talking about climate, you're actually talking about the weather of the entire planet, or a very big area, not a small area, which is wonderful. Amazing. All right, well done. You've written that word down in your book and you've got that climate as world weather. Fantastic. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is this. It's called action. We've probably heard about this before and you'll hear about it today for sure. Action. So we talk about action movies, we talk about action films, we talk about taking action. And you might have heard that before. I want you to take action. What does it mean to take action? It doesn't mean running in the streets and shouting and screaming and going wild. It actually means just doing something. So we'll put that down. Make it really simple. So this is doing something. And today we're going to do something. It doesn't matter if the thing you do is really small, as long as you do something. So we're not expecting all of you over in grade 7 over there to save the world on your own. That's not possible because you're only small children. But we're going to ask you to do something small. And if we all do something small, then really, really big things happen, which is very cool. So if Billy today, who's in our class, does something really small, and somebody notices this small action and goes, wow, that's really awesome, and they do something about it, then that means big changes will take place. Okay, and the last one is creative. Today we're going to ask you to be creative. What does it mean to be creative? Well, each and every one of you has your own brain, has your own thoughts, and your own imagination. So, it's being imaginative. We want you to be imaginative. And these are the 3 words you're going to need to know today. 3 key words. And then we're going to get started and get into the nitty-gritty. Okay, now you'll definitely need a ruler today, guys. So I'm just going to rule a line underneath this, just like that. And then we're going to get started. Okay, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. It's good to see so many people here. All right, let's get into it. We're going to be talking all about this today. And by the end of this lesson, hopefully, you guys will be thinking, wow, I really can change the world from my own house. I really can do something to make a difference in the world. So 9 ways to save our home. Sorry, to save the planet from your home. You can do this from your very own house. First of all, let me just tell you who I am. A welcome from me, Gavin, for those people who don't know me. I am a teacher. I'm actually coming to you all the way from Australia. On those people who are in India, I'm coming from the other side of the planet. Okay, I'm very far away, a very long way away. And today we're going to talk about the world and how we can all work together to make it a better place for everyone. Now, I will say this to everybody, all those grade 7 children over there in India, okay? The future is something which is coming up, okay? It's coming up in the future, obviously. It hasn't happened yet, but the future is yours. You are going to live in the future, and we can decide what the future looks like. It's completely up to you. And today we're going to talk all about that. And if you're not sure who I am, that's a picture of me just there on your screen right now. All right, now you know who I am. Let's get started. Okay, so let's talk about the world right now. What's happening? And you might want to take some notes down here. What I would say is, guys, you see this piece of paper here? What I would say is just down here, while I talk about these, you might actually want to just jot them down, just like this. And there's 6 of them. So 6 bullet points might really help you here. Okay, because this is why you're coming to this lesson today. This is why we're doing this together. So on the left-hand side of your page, just down here, if you can put 6 bullet points, that would be amazing. In fact, no, put 7. There's actually 7 of them. Here we go. Now, the reason we're having this lesson is because the future belongs to you, and we want to make it better. We want to make it beautiful. We want to make it happy and safe for everybody. So 7 bullet points on the left-hand side, and let's get into it. So here we go. What's happening? What's the problem? Why are we even bothering to talk about, making a change or making a difference? Well, let's go through these 7 things. And by the way, I'm not telling you these things to be all doom and gloom and say, oh, the world is terrible, because it's not. The world is beautiful with wonderful people and amazing flowers and plants and insects and mountains and rivers and streams and glaciers and polar bears and all this wonderful stuff. The world is wonderful, but we've got to make sure it stays wonderful. And that's why we're all here today. So let's talk about these things. And as I talk about them, a good idea is for you to write them down next to your bullet points. So number 1, the oceans are rising. So the oceans are getting higher. So what you might want to do in your book for those people taking notes is just put it down just here like this while I talk about it. So the oceans are rising. Just like this. I'll do the first one for you so you can write it down just like that. Okay, so the oceans are rising. You might be thinking, well, what's the problem with the oceans rising? Isn't that good? More water? Well, it's not good, I'm afraid, because we live on the land, and when the ocean rises, it floods the land. It comes onto the land, and you live on the land. So unfortunately, countries like Bangladesh or countries like Holland and parts of other countries too will soon be flooded. And we don't want the land to be flooded because that's where we live. So the oceans are rising is number 1. Number 2, anyone who's seen the news knows that the forests are burning. So right now, these wonderful trees around the world filled with animals and insects, I'm afraid some of them are on fire because the planet is getting a little bit too hot. And I know as much as you know, as much as I do, that it's amazing to be inside a forest. When you're in the forest, it's filled with animals and you feel calm and relaxed. So we don't want our forest to burn. And as you can see on the picture right there, that's an orangutan. An orangutan is a wonderful, wonderful creature. And it lives in Borneo and Madagascar. But I'm afraid, guys, it lives in the forest. And if the forests are burning, it will have nowhere to live. Number 3, the ice caps are melting. So the ice, which is up in the North and South Pole, is melting. And when it melts, it creates more water. And then the oceans rise, which is not what we want. Number 4, our animals are finding it hard to find anywhere to live. So rhinoceroses and elephants and orangutans and our monkeys and cheetahs and lions and tigers, all those amazing creatures that you love and I love, are finding it hard to find anywhere to live because we're cutting down the forest and we're building lots and lots of buildings where the forests used to be. This is very tricky. And I'm sure you, just like me, would love to see a cheetah or to see a lion walking through a jungle. That would be fantastic. But if they've got nowhere to live, that's going to be a problem. Number 5, we are catching too many fish. So in the ocean is filled with these wonderful creatures called fish. And they swim around and they have a wonderful time. But we're catching too many, unfortunately. We're catching way too many fish. And we don't want to catch too many. We want to actually leave some in the ocean, of course. Number 6. And this is a really important one, Billy. I know that you're feeling like, oh, goodness me, I know some of this stuff already, but this is crucial. The ocean is filled with plastic. Now, this is a really important one. Have a think about this. Do I really need that item that's made of plastic? Do I really need that plastic bag? Can I use a paper bag? Or can I have no bag at all? So have a think about that. And the last one is, the world is getting too hot. Unfortunately, guys, it's getting a bit too hot. And that's a problem. Nobody likes to have it too hot. For anybody out there who's been in bed at nighttime trying to get to sleep and it's really hot, it's so uncomfortable, isn't it? It's too hot. So why am I telling you all of these things? Why am I saying to you, hey guys, there's 7 problems, and there's other problems too, but these are the big ones. Why am I telling you these? I'm telling you them because we want to change them. We want to turn them around. We want to do something that's going to help it. Now, today we're going to talk about 9 things, Billy, that you can do, buddy. 9 things you can do starting today. And if you do them, then the world might just be saved. It's really, really important. You can do it. Not a problem whatsoever. All those children over there in grade 7, I can see you all. There's lots of you. Now, if you do what we're going to learn today, if you do this, yeah, I can see you all waving. Well done, grade 7. Amazing. Now, if you do these things we're going to talk about today, it will be amazing. But it's not only about you. You see, what we want you to do, today we're going to design a poster. You're going to make a poster and you're going to take it home. And you're going to say, hey, Mom, hey, Dad, Grandma, Granddad, my next door neighbor. You're going to tell them, hey, we're going to do these things. Let's all do these things and the world will be a much better place. That would be absolutely amazing. All right, should we get started and see what they are? Now, before we do, there's going to be something that you need to do. So what can we do to help? Here we go. The first thing you're going to need to do is this. And I'm going to do one on mine too. So everyone will need a piece of paper now, guys. So have a look at my overhead camera. Can you see my diagram on the page there? I've drawn 9 boxes. You will need those 9 boxes also. Don't worry if you haven't got a ruler. I'm going to do mine with a ruler very quickly on my paper. And I would love you to do the same too. So take your ruler, guys. If you don't have a ruler, don't worry. And then we're going to take some notes on the next 9. Okay, so I'm going to draw myself 9 boxes just like this. You can copy me if you want, and it doesn't matter if they're not the same size. Don't stress too much. This is going to allow you to take some notes. And in a minute, I'm going to let you draw some pictures, guys. So you'll need, obviously, a pencil. If you don't want to use a ruler, you can just draw them freehand. But this is a really good way to remember all the information we're about to talk about. So here are mine. Okay, so I'll give you a few minutes. Just like this, there's my first 3. I'm going to do the rest of mine freehand. You can too if you want. You don't need to use a ruler. It's not important. So you just need to check you've got 9, because we're going to talk about 9 things today. And these 9 things are going to be the 9 actions that you are going to try to do. And obviously, it's not just about you doing them. It's also about you persuading other people to do them. You see, if you can make other people do them too, then wow, the planet will be absolutely amazing. And at the top, I'm going to write down 9 ways to save the world. Just like this. Okay, so you should have something that looks just like this. Amazing. When you're ready, let me know, because I'm actually going to show you a video next. So you just put your thumb up and let me know when you're ready. And we're going to have a short video. Thanks, Billy. Now, Billy, you might be the oldest student here today, buddy, which is very important because you're a leader. You're a community leader. So we want you after this lesson to go out and make these changes and talk to other people, which is fantastic. Really, really cool. Okay, grade 7 down there, you let me know when you're ready and I will move on to the next part. I can see you waving. Yes, wonderful to see. And I've also got grade 8 here as well, which is really cool. Hello, grade 8. You guys are doing a great job too. Ah, Mateus is here. Hi, Mateus. How are you, buddy? Nice to see you here. And nice to see that big smile. All right. Shall we get a move on? All right. So I'm just going to flick to, you've got your 9 boxes, and that's looking really, really good. So today we're going to be talking about climate action. And you can probably see this on my screen like this, guys. So we're going to find out a little bit more about it. Okay. The future belongs to you. You probably heard about climate change. We're going to find out what it is. So we're going to watch a very short video, guys. All you need to do is watch and listen. And this is going to set us up for the next 9 things we're going to talk about. So have a look at the screen. I'm just going to share something with you. And then what I'd like you to do is have a listen. It's a very short video. Don't worry. It doesn't take too long. Here we go.
Life exists on planet Earth because we're just the right distance from the sun. So it's not too hot and not too cold. Earth is home to many species of plants and animals that live in the deepest oceans, the hottest deserts, the biggest cities. It's our responsibility to protect these ecosystems. Because even though humans have only been around for a small part of Earth's history, our actions are harming the health of our planet. Earth's atmosphere is like a greenhouse. It traps warmth from the sun's rays. And because conditions are just right, as they have been for thousands of years, life can flourish here. But Earth's temperature is rising. Dangerous gases from our factories, cars, and landfills are trapping the heat from the sun and making the atmosphere hotter and hotter. As a result, the ice caps are melting. The seas are rising and heating up. Whole ecosystems are dying. But good people everywhere are taking action to reverse the effects of climate change. In Bogotá, architect Oscar Mendez is designing homes made entirely from recycled plastic reclaimed from garbage dumps and landfill sites. Other people are developing cars that use the power of the sun and don't create any stinky smoke. Others still are creating green spaces in big cities where new trees can grow and wildlife can find homes. Together, we can create a safe, clean future for everyone and everything on Earth. And everyone has a part to play.
All right. Okay. So, guys, you've now had a look at that video, and that tells you that there is a change to be made. Now, that change is you. As you can see from the video, there are people doing amazing stuff all around the world. Now, you are going to be one of those people, okay? Let's talk about the things that you can do. And what we're going to do, Billy, this time, and all of grade 7 down there, is I'm going to show you each and every one of the things that you can do. Now, when I show you one of these things, what I want you to do is try to draw it in one of your boxes. So what I will show you is this. This first thing we're going to talk about is going to go in box number 1 just here. I'll talk about it. I'll show you a slide, and you might want to draw the picture in your first box here, and I will show you exactly how to do that. So let's go with number 1. So the first thing, what is the first thing we can do to actually save the world? Well, thing number 1 is walk, bike, or take public transport. So instead of driving your car to everywhere, to school and the shops and the city, instead of driving your car, if you can walk, if you can ride a bike, or you can take the bus, that is better because it actually causes less pollution. So let me show you what I'm going to do in my first box here. I'm actually going to draw myself a nice push bike, just like this. And we maybe want you to do exactly the same thing. And I might write up here, ride a bike, just like that, to remind myself. Now you're going to do that for each and every one. So I want you to think about this. Now you know number 1. Now you know what number 1 is, guys. You might have thought at the beginning, oh, goodness me, I can't do anything about climate change. I'm just a child. What can I do? Actually, grade 8, grade 7, you can do lots of stuff. The first thing you can do is ride a bike. Every time you ride your bike or walk or catch the bus, instead of taking your car, you are saving the planet. That is very cool and very powerful. This is number one. Let's go to number two and see what we can do. The second thing we can do. And when we find out, what I'd like you to do is draw a picture in your box number two, which is this box just here. All right, here we go. Box number two. Oh, look at this one. You can save the world by eating more vegetables. Here it is. You might have thought, eating vegetables, how can that save the world? Well, eating vegetables is a really good idea. You see, eating meat, when we have meat, what happens is producing meat causes pollution. And also, when the cows and the animals need to walk around on a field, what we sometimes do is we cut down a forest so that the cows can have a field to walk around on. By eating vegetables, Mateus, we are actually saving the planet. How amazing is that? So just to show you in my book what I'm going to do, I'm actually just going to draw a carrot in mine to remind me. I'm only going to do two. You guys will do all of them. I'm just going to show you how to do this. So here we go. And I'm going to make a note of eating vegetables at the top. So by doing those two things, you are actually making the world a better place. Now, grade 7 over there, I can see you all. Do you put your hand up if you think that you can ride your bike and you can eat more vegetables? All right, grade 7. Yes, I can see you all. So literally grade 7, you're going to be changing the world. What about you, Mateus? Mateus, do you think you can ride your bike more and eat more vegetables? He's nodding. He said, what about grade 8? Grade 8, do you reckon you could ride your bike more and eat more vegetables, grade 8? Stick your hand up if you think you can. I can see the teacher sticking her hand up, but maybe the children can't hear. All right, let's keep going. That is two things. Those two things are so easy to do. What a piece of cake. Saving the planet is actually not that hard at all. Let's go to number 3 and have a look at what number 3 is. Here we go. Number 3, consider your travel. This is a really important one. Sometimes we go on holidays on aeroplanes for no reason. We just go, well, I'll go for a flight somewhere. I'll just go here. I'll just go there. But taking the aeroplane lots and lots of times is actually really, really polluting for the atmosphere. Aeroplanes produce a lot of pollution, and this is pumped into the air. It makes the atmosphere really, really hot. It keeps the sun's rays in and causes it to go really, really hot. So there's actually an option. You can actually take a slower way to get there. You might want to take a train. Okay, you might want to take a slower way to get to the destination you're trying to get to. And that means considering your travel. So what I'm going to do in my box, I'm actually just going to draw an aeroplane in here, guys. I don't know if you're very good at drawing aeroplanes. I am not, but I will just give it a try like this. And I'm going to take some notes to think about travel. So the next time you're taking a holiday or you're traveling somewhere and you're getting the aeroplane, have a think, do I really need to catch an aeroplane? Is there a different way I could get there, but can it be slower? Now remember, this might not just be about you. You see, you might not be traveling on an aeroplane, you're just a child. But your father or your mother or your uncle or your auntie or your grandma or your grandpa may be taking a flight. And you can say, hey, Dad, are you sure you need to catch an aeroplane? Or could you take a train? Do you think there's a bus that goes there filled with other people too? So you might want to think about that very, very importantly. Let's go to number 4. Let's have a think about number 4. Okay, what can we do? Number 4, here we go. Oh, this is a very good one. To throw away less food. Now, you've been eating some food and you're having dinner and you're feeling really full, Mateus. You're like, oh, I'm so full. I can't eat any more food. And that happens to all of us. So there's a few choices. Do we throw it in the bin? You see, if we throw it in the bin, that means we have to grow more food. And we know that growing food and creating food causes pollution. So should I really throw it away? Or should I actually try to reuse it? Okay, so I could save it. I could donate it. I could ask somebody else if they want to eat it. This is really important. And also, when we throw it away, it lands on a huge landfill and it starts to rot and decompose. And this causes actually a gas called methane, which makes the earth hotter. So the key is for this one to not throw away food. So what I'm going to draw here, check this out, guys, and you might want to do the same, Mateus, in yours. I'm going to draw a knife and a fork like this. But my plate is going to be completely empty because I haven't wasted any food at all. Maybe a couple of crumbs on there. And just to let you know, I have a cat, so I don't waste any food. If I leave any food, my cat is going to eat it straight away. So I'm going to take a note here. Don't waste food. And it's also a really important thing to note, to tell you that when you throw away food, there are some people in the world who really love food and they don't have food. They can't get it. So for you to throw it away is not very fair. It would be a really good idea to save it, recycle it. Can you save it? Can you use it later? Can you pop it in the refrigerator and use it again? All right, let's go to number 5, guys. By the way, all of these 4 are really easy indeed. So grade 7, from now on, I don't want you to throw any food away in the bin. This is number 1. I don't want you to travel unless you really need to, long distances. Number 3, I want you to eat more vegetables. Number 4, I want you to ride your bike or walk if you can. Those are very easy things to do. Let's go to number 5 and have a look what it is. Number 5. Oh, here we go. To reuse, repair, and recycle. This is absolutely crucial, this one. So while you're drawing that, you can maybe put a symbol in your book or something. Let me explain what I mean. So you've got this T-shirt that you don't need anymore. You're getting really bored of it. You're thinking, well, I don't like that T-shirt anymore. It's got a hole in it and it's a bit scraggy and it's getting, the color is running out. You can throw it in the bin, but that's not really a good idea. What you could do is you could donate it. You could give it away. You could see somebody else wants it. You could cut it up with a pair of scissors and turn it into something else. You could reinvent it. You could recycle it, or you could even fix it. So Mateus, next time you find a hole in your T-shirt, don't throw it in the bin. Take a needle, get some thread with the help of your mum, and stitch up the hole and fix it. That is a really, really, really good idea. And also you will improve your skills. So on my paper over here, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to draw myself a T-shirt just like this. And in the middle of the T-shirt, I'm going to do the old symbol for recycling. I'm going to put a big R, just like this. Reuse and recycle. Amazing. Look at those things. That is 5 things. Really, really easy to do. And if you do all 5 of those, you will be saving the planet. Who would have thought that when you came to this lesson 30 minutes ago, that you were actually going to be saving the world? Later on, when grade 7 go home, you're going to go home and you're going to say to your dad and your mum, hey, mom, dad, check this out. I'm actually going to be saving the planet. I have decided to save the planet. And your mum's going to say, what do you mean? You can't save the planet. You're just a kid. You say, Mom, I've got 9 things that I'm going to do to save the planet. And I want you to help me. Mum's going to say, what do you mean I can't help you? You say, Mum, check out my poster I've made. I'm going to show you a poster in just a second. All right, that's 5. Let's go to number 6. Let's see what we've got at number 6. Beautiful. Here we go. Number 6. Now, this one's a big one. Now, this doesn't involve you, but you have to definitely go home and talk to your parents about this one. 100%. Now, in our houses, we have energy. You turn on the power, your TV comes on, the radio, you charge your telephone, you do all these things. They need power, okay? Now, this is a really important one. You go home to mum and dad tonight, you say, hey, mom, hey, dad, do you know where we get our power from? And your dad says, or your mum says, well, we get it from this company. And you need to ask this question, Mateus, of your mum. I can see she's next to you. So when this is over, you need to say, hey, mum, do you know where we get our power from? Does our power come from coal or does it come from solar? And your mum might say, well, I'm not sure. You say, well, you need to check. We better check this out, mum. Mum goes, okay, I'm going to check it out. I'm going to find out. And she goes, oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. I didn't realize we're getting our power from coal. And we know that coal is made in a coal mine. And it's digging up the earth and we burn it. And when we burn it, all of these fumes come into the air and they make the earth hotter. We don't want that to happen. So let's have a think about how we're going to show this. I know how I'm showing mine. I'm actually going to draw myself a coal power station just like this, with fumes coming out of it just like that. And I'm going to write down change power to remember exactly what I need to do. So when you go home today, have a chat with mum or dad. Hey, where do we get our power from, mum? And if she answers, I don't know, ask her to find out, because you might need to change it. Okay, that's 6. 3 more to go, guys. By the way, you can do all of these things immediately, starting today. All right, let's go with our next one. Here we go. This is a tricky one, but this is a conversation you can have with your parents. So you've got a car, and your car right now is probably using petrol. And you put petrol in the back of the car when you want to drive somewhere. And when you drive, all of this smoke, pollution comes out of the back of the car. Have you seen that before, Mateus? Have you seen the pollution coming out of the back? And if you're in a big city and loads of cars, so much pollution is coming out. Not only does it make the earth hotter, but you also breathe it into your lungs. It's not very good. Now, there is a solution. You can switch your car to an electric car. What about that? And if you use an electric car, well, there's no pollution. Nothing comes out of the back of the car anymore. It's completely pollution free. Now, obviously, you're children and you don't even have a driving license. Maybe Billy, you're getting close to having a driving license, Billy, but the other guys here today, you're definitely not. So do we have a conversation at home saying, hey, mom, hey, dad, are we going to get an electric car soon? Have you thought about getting an electric car? So Mateus, you might want to say to mom, Mom, does our car use petrol or does it use electricity? Mum says it uses petrol. We better start saving up, Mum. We've got to get an electric car. We've got to save the world. And Mum says, no problem. Let's get a piggy bank and we'll start saving those dollars and we'll save up for an electric car. Great idea. Okay, let's go back to our chart. I'm going to draw my electric car just like this in here. I'm not very good at drawing cars, but I will try. Here's my electric car. Okay, there we go. Put some wheels on him, just like this. I'm going to put a big electricity symbol on him, just like this. So I know it's made of electricity. Okay, I'm going to make a note. Electric cars, just like this. We've got 7 things. 7 things to do. These 2 here are really big ones. They both involve you having a chat with your mum and dad, but the first 5 you can all do immediately. So from today on, you're not going to throw away any more clothes that are old, Billy. If you've got an old t-shirt, Billy, you're going to keep it. You're going to fix it. You're going to donate it. You're going to recycle it. You're going to cut it up and turn it into a baseball hat or something really cool that you can reinvent it. But you have to be creative, of course. It's a bit tricky. 7, 2 more to go. Let's go. Okay, so here we go. Number 8. Oh, this is a really good one. Now, this is a really important one, okay? Now, this is choose eco-friendly products. Let me tell you about what this means. This means when you're going shopping or you're going shopping with your mum and dad, or you're in the supermarket and you're looking at what mum or dad are buying. Here's what they're buying covered in plastic. Is it covered in plastic? If it's covered in plastic, are we going to buy it? Or are we going to look for one that's not covered in plastic? Because we know if we buy something that's covered in plastic, we have to throw the plastic in the bin. And when we throw it in the bin, it ends up in the ocean, probably. We don't want that because that's not good for our future. It's certainly not good for your future. So this is about choosing a product that is actually more eco-friendly and asking the question, is this eco-friendly? It's really, really important, this one. Let's go back to my thing over here. What I'm actually going to do here, I'm going to draw a symbol, and this is going to be the Earth. I'm just going to draw it just like this. Here's the planet. I'm going to put some arrows going all the way around, just like this. I'm going to write down the words eco-friendly. Beautiful. And when you do that, you're saving the planet. It is very, very easy indeed. Now, you can't do that with every product, of course, but you can have a think about it. And this is an important moment because in this lesson, you are going to learn how to go home and how to have a chat with your mum or your dad or whoever you live with and say, hey, these are 9 things I'd like to do to save the world. Let's go to number 9, the final one, if you don't mind. Here we go. Number 9, speak up. This is the most important one. Now, you are children, and sometimes you think, oh, I'm a child. I can't say anything. I'm only a child. Well, actually, you're very powerful, and you have a voice, and you have a mouth, and you can say things, and it's really important. If you see something that you think needs to change, you can say it. If you see something that you think is wrong, you can talk about it. You can talk to your friends, you can talk to your mom, you can talk to your dad, you can talk to your teachers, and you can actually do something about it. This is all about being confident and speaking up. So Mateus has been here today, and he might only be 6 or 7 years old. Is that right? 6, 7, 8, 9? Okay, so he's 7. Okay, wonderful. All right, so Mateus, you're 7. I think, I'm only 7 years old, but you can easily have a chat with mom and dad, and you can have a conversation with grandma and granddad, or even your dog. I saw your dog walking around. Have a chat with them. Make sure you're speaking up and using your voice. Very, very powerful indeed. So I'm just going to do that on here. I'm just going to draw somebody talking at a megaphone like this with a microphone and a stand just like this. And I'm going to put speak up. It is crucial that you speak up. I've drawn a stick person, but you can draw whatever you want, just like this. So there are 9 things that you can do. Let's just run through all 9 of them and see if you're going to be doing these in the future. I know that grade 7 and grade 8 definitely are going to be doing these things. Now, attending the lesson, this lesson is great, and you've done a great job, but you've got something to do. I'm going to give you a task to do when we leave. So let's just go through all 9 of them. First, you're going to try to ride your bike more. You're going to try to walk more. And you're going to try to catch public transport rather than going in the car. If you can walk there, Billy, you've got legs, you walk there. Number 2, you're going to eat more vegetables. You're going to try to eat more vegetables in your diet. If you don't eat vegetables now, you're going to try and eat more of them. Number 3, you're going to think about, do I really need to travel? Do I really need to go there? If I go there, there's going to be pollution occurring. Number 4, this is probably, you can all do this tonight. When you go home and you're having dinner and you're eating your food and you start to feel full and there's some food left on the plate, you're definitely not going to throw it in the bin. That is not happening. You're going to recycle it. You're going to save it. You're going to donate it. You are going to reuse it. Number 5, this is a crucial one. So your jumper there, Mateus, with your whales on it, I can see those humpback whales on your t-shirt. When you are wearing it, you get a little hole in your t-shirt. You're not going to throw it in the bin. You're going to fix that hole, or you're going to donate the t-shirt, or you're going to cut up the material and make something else out of it. Number 5, you're going to go home and have a chat with your mum and dad. Hey, mom, dad, where do we get our power from in our house? Do you know? And if they don't know, you're going to ask them to check. And if it's made by coal, they might want to change their mind. Number 7, this is a really hard one. If you've got a car that uses petrol, you might want to ask your parents if it's time to switch to a car that uses electricity. Number 8, you're going to shop using eco-friendly items. So if you see that in the shopping basket there's loads of plastic things, you might want to say to your mum and dad, hey mum, hey dad, do we need all these things covered in plastic? Can we choose something that's not covered in plastic? And your last one, and this is the most important one of all, is you're going to speak up. You're going to use your voice, and you're going to make a difference using your voice, which is really, really great. Now you know what to do. That is fantastic. So what are we going to do with all this knowledge we have just gained? See, now you know there are 9 things to do. What are we going to actually do about it? So here's what you are going to do about it. So what I've got here on this page, you might want to have a look. I'll just read the words to you, is this. First thing, how can we speak up? Well, your job is to design a poster. If you have a Canva account, you can design it on Canva. If you don't, you can design it yourself using paper and colors and pencils, and you can design your own. I'm going to show you one in just a minute. Now, we're going to ask you to make a poster. And when you make your poster is going to be all about protecting the climate, protecting the earth, protecting the planet. Take a look at the poster on your screen right there, okay? So we want it to be a poster that stands out, and we want it to get noticed. So let me talk about my poster here. I'm just going to go to my overhead camera and tell you about the different parts of my poster, because you're going to actually make your own poster. Now, the first thing to say, and I've got some red arrows I'm going to put here. Look at this one. So the first thing to say is this. I've got a red arrow pointing right there, and this is my title. So on my design, what you're definitely going to need is you're going to need a title. As you can see, the title of my poster is really, really big. Can you see how big it is? It's huge. And it says the message. It says, save the planet. You're going to make a poster, and my title is really, really easy to read. It's really, really big, and it tells everybody exactly what I want them to do. Number 2, look at this. Here's a red arrow pointing at my orangutan. I've got some images. You might want to call them pictures. My images or my pictures are exactly getting the person who's reading my poster, they're getting them involved. You see, I've got a picture of the world. I've got a picture of an orangutan, a tree, some vegetables, and people riding bikes. I've got all the things that I was talking about right there in our presentation. So I've got some images. The next thing I've got, which is here, this is really important, I've got some actions. And I've listed just 6 of them. You might want to list all 9 of them. So there are my actions, just like that. So let me just read my actions to you, Matthias. I've got walk to school, don't waste food, eat more vegetables, ride a bike instead of driving a car, only fly when needed, and I added a bonus one, plant more trees, which is a really cool one. So I've got 6 things that people can do. And the last thing, my last arrow is down here. I've got a special message. I'm going to write it down on my arrow here. I've got a message just here like this. Okay, so I've got my 4 things that my poster needs to include. And yours is going to need to include exactly the same things too. The first thing, a big, bold title that's easy to read and stands out. Number 2, Matthias, I need some pictures that are colorful and bright, but they're also in line with what my message is. Number 3, I've got some actions. And these are the actions we've just talked about. And if you can't remember the actions, well, they're all on this piece of paper right here. So you can list them straight off of here. This is also where you can get your pictures from. And the last thing is I've got a message, and I just made this message up myself, and you might want to do exactly the same thing. My message says, small actions today will make a big difference tomorrow. Now, here is what I would like you to do. The first thing is this. Every single week on a Wednesday, I will be here to give a lesson at exactly the same time. Exactly the same time every week. I really want to see you here, Matthias, every week. That will be amazing. I really want to see Billy here every week, and all of grade 7 and all of grade 8. Thanks, Billy. Every single week. Number 2, I'm going to go in a few minutes. But when I go, that doesn't mean the lesson is finished. You've got 9 things that I need you to do. Don't forget, you've got these 9 things that I need you to do this week. You don't need to do all 9 of those. So Matthias, when you're having dinner tonight, there is not going to be one single scrap of food on your plate. And if you are feeling full, well, pop it in the fridge. No problem. You can eat it later. Remember, you will be hungry again later on. And I can see a dog behind you, and I'm sure he loves to eat some of your sandwiches sometimes. Okay, so don't waste any food and throw it in the bin. You've got 9 things to do. But then the next thing you've got to do is this. You have to create a poster, not exactly the same as mine, because this is my imagination. You've got to create your very own poster. But here's the cool part about your poster. Don't make your poster and stick it in your bedroom. Oh, that would be a waste of time, because only you will see it. Make your poster and take it down to the local post office or the local shop or your school, somewhere where lots and lots of people will see it, and then stick it up. And then people, as they walk past, they will see, oh my goodness, look at that poster about saving the planet. I am going to do those things, and therefore I'm going to save the planet. So that is your kind of homework for this week, or your extension work is to go and do that, which is absolutely fantastic. I am feeling extremely proud of you guys. If you can actually do this, that will be wonderful. Now, what I'm going to say to you is this last thing. When you have finished your poster, when you have designed it and you are feeling really proud, I would love to see it. Okay, I would really love to see it. So for example, Billy, I would love to see your poster. I wouldn't love to see your poster in your bedroom. I'd love to see your poster in a shop window or in the library. So when you've designed your poster, stick it up somewhere, take a photograph, and send that photograph to me. I am going to write down an email address that you can send it to. Here it is. It is this, gavin@upschool.co. When you have designed your poster, when you have colored it in, when you have stuck it up in the bookshop, in the library, in the village hall, down in the local church, in the mosque, in your principal's office window, wherever you put it, take a photo and send it to this email address, because I want to show the rest of the world your amazing work, and I want to make them really proud about all the stuff that you are doing. Matthias, I cannot wait to see your poster and see where you put it. You might even want to make 10 posters and put them in 10 different places. That would be absolutely amazing. All right, finally, we will go to the final slide, which is where I say thank you very much for coming along. It's been really nice to have everyone here this week, guys. I've been really honored to have you here. Remember, every Wednesday, I will be here to teach you and to give you different lessons every single week. Remember, on Upschool, we have lots of courses. You can jump on the platform. Billy, I'd love to see you enrolled in one of those courses as a role model, as a leader. It would be fantastic. And we will see you next Wednesday for another lesson. I'm sorry, I won't be able to take any questions, but if you, I saw some hands going up. If you do have some questions, please, my email address is right there. You can just ping it straight to me and I will reply to you immediately. Thank you, everybody, for coming. It has been an amazing honor to have you here. Nice to meet your dog, by the way, Matthias. Billy, thank you for being a legend. All of grade 8, all of grade 7. Everybody, thank you for coming, everyone. I'll see you next week on Wednesday at the same time. Bye-bye-bye. Okay, bye, everyone. Thank you.
It's Richard Mills from Upschool here. For more amazing free lessons like this one, create a free account at upschool.co, and we can't wait to see you on our platform.